Hey everyone, so a lot of you leave some really good comments on the videos, and unless you're going back and watching old videos and reading old comments, you're gonna miss out on a lot of the really good discussions happening. So one thing I'd like to start doing on this channel is answering some of your questions in the comments and just posting some regular videos where I do this. So if you have any questions about religious studies, about religion in general, or about the videos, just tweet at me, you can email me, or you can leave the questions in the comments below each video. So the first question comes from the Wrecker18. Hey Andrew, does taking theology as an undergraduate course contradict with majoring in religious studies? My initial thought is no. If you're taking a theology class as a religious studies student, this doesn't necessarily contradict, but it does depend on your personal preferences and your interests. If you remember from my video on the difference between theology and religious studies, you might remember that I define theology as thinking about the questions raised by and about religion. Religious studies, on the other hand, focuses on the human dimension of religion, so the sociology of religion, the anthropology, archaeology, the history of religion. So these are two academic disciplines, and they're not necessarily mutually exclusive, but they do ask different questions and they have different methods for their research. So I would say if you already have an interest in religion, you probably would be interested in theology too, but just be prepared for a potentially more philosophically oriented class. Does God exist is as much a philosophical question as a theological question, and in fact, Crash Course covered this topic very well. And another thing I would say, theology, at least here in the United States, often means Christian theology. So if you're interested in, say, the theology of the Aztec religion, you might not get that much out of a theology class, but really this depends on your own personal interests. And I know for a fact that a lot of graduate students of theology are a fan of the show, so if you're watching this right now, feel free to put your experience as a theology student in the comments, because as a religious studies guy, I don't know that much about the discipline of theology. It's different. The next question is from Saksumi on the video about teaching religion in public schools. Saksumi asks, given the demographic makeup of the US, do you really think the education system is capable of teaching religious studies without bias and partiality? And if you read the rest of his question, you'll see that he doesn't have much faith in high school teachers being able to teach religion from an unbiased perspective. I would say I totally understand your concern, but I guess I'm just a little more optimistic about teachers being able to be neutral when they teach religion. Of course, you'll always have that random story where a teacher tries to convert their students, and you'll, just like in a politics class, have the occasional teacher that really pushes their political agenda. But I would say that these are the exceptions and not the rule. In my ideal world, we'll actually have university programs that focus specifically on teaching religion. We could have training seminars on how to respect the First Amendment when teaching religion in a public school. So given the right temperament and given the right training, I truly think high school teachers can maintain neutrality when teaching religious studies. And finally, we have a shorter question here. William Parada asks on the Gospel of Judas video, so when does the term demiurge come about? If you remember from my Marcion video, the early church bishop Marcion believed in two gods, a supreme, perfect God who created the universe, and an evil lesser god called the Demiurge. But this idea wasn't new to Marcion. The word demiurge just comes from the Greek word demiurgos, which means craftsman or creator. And Plato is really the first one to start using this term to refer to a big supreme god. In Plato's Timaeus, he mentions the demiurge as the creator of the universe. He is generally a benevolent being. So Plato's idea of the demiurgos is built upon through Middle Platonism all the way into Neoplatonism in late antiquity. So by the time that Marcion was kicking around as a bishop in the 2nd century in Asia Minor, these ideas of the Platonic Demiurgos were floating around in philosophical circles. So he would have easily made connections between his own Christian faith and this Platonic philosophy. So that's all the questions I have for now. And again, if you have any questions about religion or about the videos that I post here on Religion for Breakfast, feel free to tweet at me or just leave your questions in the comments below. I'm gonna try to do a video like this more regularly, maybe once every few weeks. So hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you around.